$300 can get you a lot of different things, like an awesome video card or 1/76 of a maxed out Mac Pro. But if you told me in 2017 that in just 2 years, you'll be able to build a viable 8-core gaming computer, I would call you crazy. Yet here we are. A little over a week ago, I showcased the computer that I built only using eBay as a part of a competition between myself, Danny from Nerd on a Budget, and Greg from Science Studio. Not to go all MKBHD on you guys, but I've been using the computer for a few weeks now. As you can see, it's right there. And today I want to answer the question, 1, how does it perform? And 2, is this something I can ultimately recommend to you guys? So without any further ado, and just in case you didn't watch part 1 of the series, this is what my computer came out to be. A Xeon E5 2670 for 40 bucks. It's 8 cores and 16 threads with a 3 GHz all-core boost clock. An HP Z420 motherboard for $54. It's standard ATX form factor, but HP being HP has a proprietary motherboard plug, so I had to pick up a 24-pin to 18-pin adapter for $11. We have 16 gigs of DDR3 ECC memory for $18 in dual channel. I left some performance on the table by not picking up a 4x4 or an 8x2 kit. I recommend going for those for slightly better performance if you plan on building something like this. To cool the CPU, we have a Deepcool GAMX 400 CPU cooler for 20 bucks. It has a 125 watt TDP, so it will adequately cool the processor, no biggie. The video card is an RX 570 8GB for 65 bucks. Mine came in less than ideal condition, but it functions, cools, and overclocks pretty well. It's originally a 470 that the seller flashed to a 570 for mining reasons. For storage, we have a 240GB SSD for 29 bucks. It's basic, it's fast, and we can always add more storage later if we want to. I picked up a 520 watt Seasonic power supply for 30 bucks and an ATX case with a whole lot of personality for another $30. I mean, it comes with temperature probes and a cute LCD panel on the front. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. So after shipping, handling, and tax, the total came out to $298. The test suite for the competition included Cinebench R15, 3D Mark Firestrike, and Unigine Superposition. Now, if you watched my previous video, the part 1 of the series, and you would know that I centered my build specifically around Cinebench R15. I looked at all 3 benchmarks and I was like, okay, which one is it possible for me to definitely win in? I chose Cinebench R15. If you have a lot of cores, you're minus a few exclusions here and there, you're probably going to win. So once I built the computer, I did some optimization and overclocking to prepare myself for battle. As soon as I laid my eyes on the E5 2670, it was like love at first sight. And I desperately wanted to overclock it, but it's a lock chip and there's just no way around that. Thankfully, I think I got a pretty good RX 570. I was able to overclock the core to 1400 and the memory to 1920. The process was a little bit rough because the flash to RX 570 wasn't cooperating properly and kept throwing code 43 errors. So I had to restore it back to its original RX 470 BIOS. Next on my list was to tweak the RAM to get as much performance out of the bandwidth-hungry 8-core CPU as possible. But sadly, HP has this BIOS on complete lockdown. There really isn't anything you can do or change. You can move some administrative settings around, but when it comes to actually changing the hardware, you're SOL. So I scrapped that, I finalized a few things, and then I hopped in a Discord call with Danny and Greg, and then we got to live benchmarking.
Oh yeah, he went Xeon. There's no way. There's no way that he...
Oh jeez.
Do you want me to tell you the score?
What'd you get? Yeah.
1024.
Oh jeez.
You're screwed.
I know you guys can't read this, but I'm
No, I cannot. I can't even read the big score.
It's just a white box that you can cross. You can't read anything.
The score is 6986.
All right. Let's see it.
Okay, overall is 10,447. Graphics is 12,453.
12,453.
Physics is 12,624. And then combined is 4236. So after being surprised by the performance of this computer over the live call, I decided to keep it on board as my main system for a little bit longer. and just see what else it can do. I actually named the computer Razor thanks to one of the comments in my previous video, and I won't lie, I spent way more time than I should have actually using this computer. Got kind of attached, but who needs people when you have computers, right? Amen, brother. Amen. So here's what you can expect in gaming, in video editing, and in streaming. In gaming, expect at least 60 FPS in pretty much every popular title out there. The 8 cores are clocked low, so don't expect consistent high refresh gaming, so nothing over maybe 120 consistently, but I never found myself handicapped by the platform. The RX 470 still offers wonderful value at the price of $65, and if you can overclock it as far as I did, you'll enjoy your entire library at 1080p and even up to 1440p if you are conservative with your settings. Everyone wants to get into streaming nowadays, and I don't blame them. It's a ton of fun. In OBS, I used a 720p 60 preset with a bilinear filter and the faster CPU usage preset and the X264 CPU encoder. Our 720p 60 stream was smooth, and using the CPU encoder, it was clean and clear. Gameplay was smooth in Fortnite and Call of Duty from the streamer side and the viewer side. CPU usage hit 50%, but still kept gameplay very, very smooth. Also, I suck at Fortnite. The editing experience was also perfectly fine. I've had better, but again, for 300 bucks, it's totally worth it. Having 8 cores and 16 threads really helps, and although AMD is miles behind NVIDIA in encoding algorithms, OpenCL does help with 1080p and 4K editing. In DaVinci Resolve, I never got a GPU processing error, even after doing color correction and video stabilization. Playback and scrubbing was perfectly fine with preview proxies, and I only got a few hiccups when I did not have the proxy on, and that was when I had a lot of video layers. Rendering a 4K clip also didn't take very long, so 1080p will be perfectly okay too. So as with any Aussie video, what have I personally learned, and do I recommend this computer? The first thing I learned is that CPU cores are becoming increasingly important as we demand more from our computer, higher FPS, more multitasking, and game developers demand stronger hardware for an enjoyable experience. I mean, Red Dead Redemption is a perfect, clear-cut example of this. You're really going to struggle if you don't have more than 4 cores and 4 threads. Building a PC doesn't have to be expensive, and older hardware is still capable depending on your scenario. And that segues into the final part of this video. Do I recommend building this computer? That's a tough question to answer. Ryzen is just such a good choice. It feels like the perfect answer every single time someone wants to build a budget computer. If you're at a Micro Center, you can get 6 modern cores, a Ryzen 5 1600 for only 80 bucks. And even if you're not, you can still build a Ryzen 3 system with integrated graphics for the same price as this Xeon system. Now, of course, it's gonna perform worse, but that upgrade path, the AM4 upgrade path, it's really, 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 really hard to not recommend. To directly answer the question, it depends. If you need a lot of cores, if you need a lot of cheap cores, or if you need a NUMA platform or any of the specific features that the Xeon has, then that's a better option. If you don't really care about upgradability, then this could be a better option. Otherwise, Ryzen is probably the way to go. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, then leave a like. If you loved it, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. Make sure you check out Danny and Greg's videos as well. I will have them linked, and then I should have them as end screen annotations like somewhere up here as well. Make sure you follow me on all socials at OzTalksHW, and I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. I'll see you guys in 2020. Peace.